Don't you guys ever get sick of drafting NFL athletes onto fantasy football teams? Like, how many times can you draft these dudes who are 6'3" and run a 4.3 40 onto a dumb fantasy team and still find joy in it? And today, the great Pat Carrain decided it's time we draft some fatties on a fantasy team. We are going to draft NFL coaches. I still do not even understand how this is going to work, but Pat apparently has it all figured out in his head. This is ship chasing. We're drafting NFL coaches onto a fantasy team. Let's do it. Pat Fryer Helmo.
This is why I'm hot.
Anita Hanjob.
Fix your sight.
Jamar. Alpha play chase. Are you kidding me? Kadarius Toney?
You can't handle the heat.
It looks like we're finally at this point. You're right.
All right. We were not able to do a show last week. YouTube, StreamYard were all having outages. And the idea for the show we were going to do was just so good that we had to give it another crack. Today, Pat Carrain from the beach, Davis from the usual. How are we doing, guys?
I'm back in New York, actually.
Back in New York.
Yeah, was bummed out that we couldn't do this last week. Luckily, it's still June, and we can squeeze it in.
Yes. Why don't you? This is like both for me and the audience. What are we going to do today?
So we were talking through some ranking stuff for Leg Up, and I don't know. I kind of got down this weird rabbit hole, and I was like, this would be perfect for ship chasing. Let me pitch it to you guys. Basically, what I want to do is have us draft the NFL head coaches and Roger Goodell to get to 33 humans. And we're going to be drafting NFL teams, not fantasy rosters, but actual NFL offenses and defenses, because these coaches, like Travis Hunter this year, have to play both ways. So
Good wrinkle, Pat. Good wrinkle.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of former quarterbacks too. So that makes you think about the athleticism of your former quarterbacks. So that gives us the flexibility to, figure out, if these guys are going to be able to have the athleticism to play defense as well as offense. But obviously there's some interesting former offensive players and everything. But what I was thinking is we don't have to declare what positions they're going to play right when we draft them, because you don't know, right? You don't know who else is going to be available. So at the end, I think we should announce our starting rosters on offense and defense once we get our coaches together.
So you're telling me like the equivalent of this would be like if we did a best ball draft that was like positionless and you got boxed out though, and you're at like the end and you're like, I have 8 running backs, so like I'm gonna have to make Roschon Johnson a wide receiver.
That's right. That's right. Okay. That's exactly right. Yeah, because like an NFL team, right? You're drafting these guys. A lot of athlete designations here for these NFL coaches, and then we'll figure out what to play them as the summer progresses.
And we should also mention this isn't just some like half-baked idea you cooked up and then was just like figure it out. You built a sheet with some baseline stats. You were essentially building out like a database on these guys.
So this was one of those fork in the road moments where I was like, if I'm going to do this, I want to figure out like the ages and the heights and weights on these coaches. So I'm putting this all together. And then the fork in the road was, do I just use this to just destroy this draft that means nothing? Or do I share it with Pete so we can put it on the stream? So here it is. I've shared it. We're all dealing with the same, basic information about the player pool. But I went and looked like what these guys actually played, what the highest level they got to, if they played a long time in the NFL, or a couple guys were like UDFAs that never really played in the NFL. But yeah, I've got that all in there.
My favorite note is next to Dayball, question mark on weight, but does say he lost a lot of weight recently. Like what kind of research were you doing for this?
I was trying to get through this as quickly as possible, which is where I was like, well, he slimmed down, but yeah, I don't have an exact weight on Dayball.
So tough spelling on experience. Andrew.
Yeah.
Like I said, time was of the essence here.
Not now, Vivian. Dad's looking up what position Raheem Morris played in college.
He didn't play anything.
That's what I was just going to say. Is Raheem Morris the only NFL coach who didn't play football in college? Is that what you discovered?
Best I can tell. Yeah. No, some guys in high schools. There were some high school. I don't see. I couldn't find any football related activities for Raheem Morris. I tried to find a flag football league he was in.
Which is crazy because he's like a football. He's a football guy. Of all the coaches, I would have gotten to him last. I'm like, Raheem Morris never played football? What? That can't possibly be true.
You're telling me that there's not a large language model that could find out for us that Raheem Morris.
You want me to?
Yeah, let's check the AI. Double check. I don't know. I wouldn't rule out that I missed it, but
the other thing is he looks like one of the most athletic coaches in the entire pool.
He's jacked.
You know, some guys that they're in shape, but they're not coordinated.
Okay, he played at Hofstra, 94 to 97.
Okay.
Yes, that was So he played safety.
141 tackles, earned 1997 Hempstead Mayor's Trophy.
All right, my bad. It wasn't in the wiki.
What that is?
All right, so we'll
update your wiki. Fix your site.
Fix your site.
All right, there you go. Hofstra. Okay. So, Pat, are you basically saying by not having to assign the position that this draft is going to reward versatility at the top? We're looking for
it's going to reward creativity. Now, are we going to let the chat vote on the winning team? What's the process here?
I think that's the right way to go. Yes, I think there is a reward for versatility. In fact, I would say that's a key part of this, right? You got to figure out what coaches bring something that the other coaches don't really offer, whatever that may be.
Yes. Okay. In Pat, I assume this column here is already set up for us to draft.
That's already, and then I've got we don't have to say right away the positions, but I do have us. Those columns are for us to declare the positions.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm going to get this so everybody can see some of the pertinent information on screen here. Pat, I mean, this is your baby. David, should we let him have the honors of going 101?
Sure. Although I think there are a couple guys who you like clearly can't build without. So the 101, a bit of an advantage.
Okay. I've literally, as Jonathan pointed out earlier in the chat, I put zero thought into this, so I'm already terrified that my picks are going to be awful.
So when Corain shared this with us, I did like a mock draft with myself in terms of like what to order.
I haven't even done a mock draft. David's more prepared than me.
So I will go in any order. I don't care. But I do think there is an advantage because I think there is a clear 101. It'll be interesting to see if you guys agree, but I think there is a clear 101.
Okay. I do not. I've given no thought to this, so I didn't know there's no clarity whatsoever. But Pat,
this will be. Go ahead, Pat.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, if you give me the 101, I'll take it because I do think there's a clear 101, but I also think there's a clear tier of 3. So I don't think it's a
clear tier of 3.
Yeah, so I think every one of us will get, as long as we can figure it out in time, every one of us will get one of the top 3 players, and then it'll snake. So I don't think that the 3 holds out in a big disadvantage or anything.
I think there's a pretty clear. Well, it depends on
your pussyfooting. Start picking these guys that are so clear.
I'll kick us off. I'll go D'Amico Ryans.
Okay, so this was not the clear 101 because of
okay.
Sorry.
I think he is the clear 101. You get the so he's a linebacker. He's 247, 6'1", so you get some size. I think crucially, he's 40 years old. You're getting about a decade on some of the other interesting former NFL players. That to me is the tiebreaker. You know, a 40-year-old versus a 50-year-old is helpful. So D'Amico Ryans, experience primarily on defense, but we can definitely find a spot for him on offense.
Can I say, Pat, did you already set up conditional formatting by name?
Yes, I did.
Incredible.
Congrats from the beach. No one better. All right, Davis, who's the clear 101 that just fell to you?
Yeah, the clear 101 is a guy who's played on offense and is big enough to be successful on defense. It's clearly Dan Campbell.
That was going to be my pick, and I didn't think he was clear.
So, like, D'Amico obviously is a good pick. He was my 103. But there's another guy who I think is really obvious. But Campbell, he played on offense, right? And he's bigger. 265, bigger.
Yeah, we got to play both ways, Davis. You ever heard of defense
All
side
right,
of the ball?
I think the guy who drinks 60, what is it? He drinks 2 venti
He's probably going to be pretty good on defense.
a day. Dan Campbell is the 101 of this exercise.
I had him as the clear 102. I think he's a great pick as well. It's just the age. It's just 10 years, man. He's 49, so it's 9 years. But that's a big difference.
But that's a Dan Campbell 49, brother.
That's true. That's true.
And Pat, to be clear, like 5 of these guys we're putting on the offensive line, like we're building a real NFL offense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can either play Dan Campbell as your tight end, or at this size with these group of guys, I mean, this dude could be your freaking guard. It doesn't matter.
At your tackle. That's what I was going to draft him as a tackle. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's 6'5".
Yeah. Yeah, the one thing that does stand out here by way of Pat's conditional formatting on age is Dan Campbell at 49. He's getting a little up there.
Yeah.
More of an injury risk, I do think.
No, I think Campbell is now what I'm very curious.
Is Pete Carroll dead ass like the worst pick of all time?
He's 73 years old.
No, dude,
buddy,
buddy, Pete Carroll is out there doing drills with his wide receivers, man. Don't hate, and you'd feel bad tackling him too.
I mean, like, what possible position are you putting him at?
All right, let's see if Pete gets the clear 103.
I'm not going to get the clear 103 here.
Well, you get 2 chances at it.
Man.
You do. You have 2 cracks at it right here.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're snaking.
We're snaking, yeah.
Okay.
PD asking a big question. Single game or 17-game season? Single game. This is
a single game. We're not, yeah.
We're organizing this like it's, that they do the photo of all the 32 NFL coaches. It's like this game takes place immediately after that. They're all going out to go put the pads on and go play.
Hopefully this podcast episode is so big that actually happens.
Can you imagine?
That's the goal.
Can you imagine?
Well, I also like how we said it's fantasy, but then we're drafting them to a real NFL team too. So, yes. You know what? Man, I wish he was a little bit younger. Man, I am so paralyzed right now.
I'll help you. It's not Andy Reid.
I'm not taking Andy Reid, but I think I'm going to go in that direction. Okay, and one more thing. So no defense. So like if I'm drafting a guy who has defensive experience, that's like completely useless to me.
No, we're playing both ways. These guys are going to play
they're playing both ways. They have to play on both sides of the ball.
And you only have 11 guys, so defense is very important.
You want to talk about a dude that's like a total hardo who has been pictured like doing push-ups on the sideline at 49, 6'4", 261.
You got it.
Playing both ways. I'm going Mike Vrabel.
Got it. There we go.
Okay.
That's the 103,
guys.
That's the 103. Yeah,
you got it.
He's the arbitrage on Dan Campbell.
He was the arbitrage. He's like the not as good Campbell.
Okay.
Yeah. I had him as
believe
the 3 as well.
Does he have 8 receptions in the NFL, 8 touchdowns, Mike Vrabel?
You guys both have big boards for this?
Yeah, I ranked the coaches.
I really dropped the ball here.
Well, you got the 103.
Vrabel 10 receptions, 10 touchdowns, by the way.
I was hoping for another YouTube outage so we didn't have to do this. Oh my god! And now I'm just over here furiously like Googling what does Shane Steichen look like again? There are like so many quarterback types that you can take.
There are.
So normally you'd think quarterback would be the hardest. These dudes are all quarterbacks.
They're all former quarterbacks. Yeah.
Yeah. So you need more versatility. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with the new revelation, despite Pat thinking he didn't play. I think Raheem Morris is just an athlete, man. I'm gonna take Raheem Morris here. Okay, 48 again. The age.
Our first reach was not on my board with this pick.
Well, you got to open your third eye up to Raheem Morris, who slipped through the cracks of Google, but wasn't going to slip through the cracks in my hands. Davis, you're on the clock.
Okay, so the chat missed this one. They were saying the wrong thing. They're saying like McVay was kind of a decent wide receiver. McVay on the scale of guys who played football is like basically me. Like he is so small compared to these guys. Is he the only one whose listed weight is below 190? I think he might be. I'm taking
There's a few.
I'm taking the biggest and tallest of the remaining guys who played quarterback because I think that's going to help going both ways. I'm taking KOC.
Oh, that was my pick.
Taking Kevin O'Connell,
man.
Yeah,
and he played a little bit, right? He played for the
5 seasons.
Oh, he played 5 seasons. He was.
But he didn't. He never started, right?
No, but he's in the league.
Yeah.
Dude,
so I thought
he's
KOC
6'5", 225.
Yep. Yeah.
That's a good pick, man. Really good.
Taking like McVay or another one of the guys who's like 5'10", 5'11", not the move. Like Stefanski, terrible pick there.
Hey, so let's just relax. Let's save the comments until the players are off the board.
No table talk.
All right, so Pat is back on the clock after taking D'Amico Ryans 101.
All right, so Pete was delighted to find out that Raheem Morris played safety at Hofstra and is 48 years old. Meanwhile, there's a 52-year-old former cornerback who played 15 seasons in the NFL. Is that maybe better than playing at Hofstra? I think it is. I'm going to take Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn.
Raheem Morris was totally just used. That was the name in Peter's head.
No. Let me see what Aaron Glenn looks like.
He looks like he's about 38 years old. He looks jacked.
Right.
Pete is...
I'm seeing every bit of that 52 years old on Aaron Glenn.
So inaccurate. Aaron Glenn.
Guys, if you want to talk about like what his biological age is at, I mean, Raheem Morris is like a 42. He's on that Brian Johnson longevity
I was going to say,
protocol.
What's the Brian Johnson? They have a different name for it than
Blueprint.
Like a shorthand.
Blueprint.
No, they have a shorthand for biological age.
Oh yeah. All right, Pat. Who's your other pick? Because you get to double tap here.
Yeah. So this I think there's a little bit of a tier break here, but I'll go with the NFL experience again. Get a guy who played 6 seasons in the NFL and is only 36. So 2 things going for me here. The NFL pedigree and the age. Kellen Moore is a former quarterback. So I don't know how much athleticism I'm really getting.
I watched a lot of Kellen Moore play.
I know, yeah. But,
oh my God.
It's going to be against weaker competition here.
You just drafted Hayden Winks, dude. You just drafted Hayden Winks.
Dude.
He's Hayden Winks' age. I gotta take the age, man.
You know what? I'm just gonna allow you guys get to watch me Google image these guys in real time as I'm figuring out who to draft in here. But I mean, Pat, this guy, I didn't even know what Kellen Moore looked like until right now.
It's not great.
He's playing quarterback for me for sure.
Yeah. I don't think you can put him anywhere else. I guess that picture looks a little bit better. Some of them are rough though. It seems like he swings on his weight. Like this one here, he's definitely put it on some pounds. Some of these, he looks a little slimmer. So it depends kind of what Kellen Moore you're getting here.
Well, he's
not great.
Oh no. Well, that's from his playing days. That's when he was in the league. I'm banking on that age. I'm banking on the 36-year-old to move around a little bit better than it might look like he would.
All right. I do have a pick I feel strongly about now. I'm taking Dave Canales. I just learned dude played both ways at small college.
Small college.
Small college, which is one of the more competitive schools in D3, that small college. But wide receiver, defensive back, 6'1", 220, 44 years old. I think he's got to be one of the most in-shape coaches on this list. I think that versatility will come in handy for me, both playing both ways. If I want to have him as a wide receiver,
now, isn't Davis up?
No.
Yeah, pretty sure I am.
Fuck. Were you going to take Canales?
I was not going to.
Okay. All right. I jumped the gun because I was so worried about getting sniped on Canales. Okay. My bad, Davis. My bad, Davis. I forgot we're back to
You
you.
might as well finish up the pick and throw it back to David.
I mean, I'm just making up bullshit about why he's going to be great for my team. Your turn, Davis.
So I think it was hard to figure out how to value this guy, but at the end of the day, he is the only one who weighs 300 pounds. It's probably not what his listed weight is, but I'm taking Andy Reid.
What a reach. What a reach.
Oh my
Not a reach.
Andy Reid is 67 years old.
He's the only one who's 300 pounds. That 250,
Is
buddy,
good?
250 my ass. Okay.
Yeah, right. This is complete. I'm gonna put 4 asterisks.
It's the listed weight in the program. It's enough.
There's
Was that his
no
listed
way.
weight when he did the punt pass kick when he was 13?
You just picked him in the third round.
You guys are completely wrong. Andy Reid is the best option as a lineman.
Davis is going to have a hell of an offensive
around
line.
340 pounds in 2017, but he's what? AI is broken. Current weight approximately 190 pounds. Get the fuck out of here.
Davis, oh no, he's too small to play now.
You guys, you need a beefy boy. And I mean, will Andy Reid weigh 100 more pounds than everyone else in this exercise? I think yes.
Yeah, sure, but he's also 67. He's one of the oldest coaches. I think he's the second oldest coach behind Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll, he is. Yeah.
What is
I
all of these stories about from 340 to 190?
You
Like,
can't. Here's Pete, man. You can't do Google searches anymore because it's all AI. It's all AI slop.
The AI slop was what I went to first.
Andy Reid does not weigh. I mean, why is StatMuse? He just doesn't weigh 190 pounds. The internet, AI has broken the internet, basically.
There's no
And it was
way.
so good before.
There is no way Andy Reid. The last time Andy Reid was 190 pounds was when he was in 3rd grade. Like, there's no chance.
Yeah, there's no chance. I don't.
Wow, that is a controversial pick there, though, David.
It's not controversial. The chat will come around to where I'm at eventually.
I love saying it's not controversial.
This will be
No one likes it.
this will be the ultimate they realized I was right too late situation.
I'll give you the size. I thought about having him higher than I did ultimately for size, but I just think the age is tough, man. It's pretty tough.
And I do think that's really what I think is the toughest thing to weigh right now is actual, experience playing the game versus like age and like what kind of actual athleticism you can get out of these guys right now. With that said, I do think I'm going to try to get my signal caller here, kind of in the vein of what I think you guys have done with some of your picks. I am going to take Shane Steichen here at 6'4", 40 years old, 205, played at UNLV.
He was a bad quarterback, Shane Steichen.
Well, he's going to be great when all he has to do is scramble past.
That's who you
Reid.
want to be your quarterback, though? That's who you want to be your quarterback?
I'm not boxing myself into anything. I'm just saying that I have a 6'4", 205-pound, 40-year-old athlete that I can deploy however I see fit.
Pete, I will say Dave Canales was next on my board when you took him. So I did like that pick quite a bit.
Okay. All right. Is it back to Davis in the
Back to
middle,
Davis.
I believe? Yeah.
So this is a tougher one because he's smaller, but I'm going to take Ben Johnson, who squats 405 ass to grass, his own words. He is a math genius, so I trust him to figure out the angles on defense. But I know he's physically fit. He's young. He's very fit. We are going to lose a little bit on size, but and another potential. If we do flag football rules, when we do the double forward pass, another guy to help out there. But just knowing, and he's been in the room with Campbell. So I have the team synergy going on there.
I think Davis lost it when his second point was he's a mathematician.
He's
gonna figure out the
see
angles on
dude.
defense.
This
He
guy's
can
gonna get
hide.
fucking pancaked out here.
He can squat more than you, Peter, and he's 39.
We're like the same age.
I was giving you the fake young out. I was gonna try and let you pretend that you were 33 for a little while.
All right. 6'1", 195-pounder. Might as well just take Mike McDaniel while you're down there doing that.
I believe he's also the second youngest head coach. Him and Kellen Moore.
Do you know what's going to be a really funny face-off at the end of this draft? It's like, are you taking the 60-year-old guy or these coaches who are like 5'10" and weigh 170 pounds? Like, which direction are you going?
Younger guy better. Younger, smaller guy better. Other than Andy Reid.
Didn't expect this to turn into personal insults. You don't know us that well.
You don't know the show.
All right, Pat, you get 2 picks here.
All right, so this is a team where goobers are welcome. Clearly with the Kellen Moore pick, and so I'll go ahead and take Duval. Give me Liam Cohen, who's 6'1",
Really?
223, 39 years old. Who's a UMass quarterback, but I'm honestly more interested in him for the size and being sub 40. He should be decently athletic.
I do love you. Were so used to hearing like sub 40 and thinking like 40 time, and we're talking literally
We're talking
under the
age
of 40, sub 40.
He was a 4-year starter, and he does hold 6 of the 8 UMass career passing records, and he also was collegiate roommates and teammates with Victor Cruz.
He's probably playing tackle for me, so his quarterback records aren't going to do him a lot of good. But
all right, who's your other pick?
All right, I will go with Matt LaFleur, who went to Western Michigan as a quarterback. They tried to convert him to wide receiver, and then he transferred to D2 to keep playing quarterback. But bad news, Matt. You're probably playing wide receiver for me. We'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah, I think he's kind of got like the Canales thing going where you can tell he's in good shape. I think
he's 210, 6 foot 210, which a lot of these coaches we're starting to get to, or you're lucky to crack 100 or looking to crack 200 at this point.
Yeah. Here's what he looks like next to an actual NFL athlete.
Oh no,
you feel less good about it.
and that was 10 years ago.
10 years ago, true. I think he's put on a little weight since.
He's put on a little muscle, yeah.
45 years old. I love how you added this note here. Western Michigan as QB, but they tried to convert him to wide receiver and he transferred to D2. Did you add that just to remind yourself of the versatility?
Yes, that's what it was there for. Because the versatility is important.
All right, back to you, Davis.
Man, so this is like a pretty tough spot because we start to get to older guys or guys who never played serious versus 8 years ago, I think I would have taken Mike Tomlin. 5 years ago, I maybe would have taken Tomlin. But I am going to take an absolute stone loser here, a guy I just don't really like at all, but he's 42 and did play quarterback. I'm going to do Zach Taylor.
Okay.
Davis, that's not what I thought you were going to say. There's another stone loser.
There is another stone loser. He's the biggest loser. Now, the biggest nerd, the biggest loser, I expect him to be sandwiched in between Pete Carroll and Roger Goodell.
Okay,
guy, he looks like the brother of JD Vance that the mom didn't abandon. is what Zach Taylor looks like.
This is like going through a girl's Instagram feed.
Can you pull that comment up again about personal insults? I think it deserves an encore.
It's like some of these photos, he looks fairly athletic in this photo. He looks fairly athletic in this one, but then in some of these, this wasn't his best day.
Well, probably in the middle of the season. They haven't had time to work out or anything, but he was a pretty good college quarterback. 45 passing touchdowns, 20 picks, 7.1 YPA. He was a pretty good college quarterback.
I think it's a good pick. I like you're getting on the younger end of range. You're getting on the slightly taller side, and you're getting decent weight. I'm going to make like or no, is it back to me now? Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Davis was middle. So I was going to do a similar thing. I'm going to take Sirianni.
That's a good one.
I think in that same mold of just trying to get
about
guys,
a dude you don't want in your locker room.
that is a concern. Locker room cancer, but we're out here, and I was told we only have to play one game, and I think the risks of locker room cancer are kind of mitigated if they're only in there for about 15 minutes before the start of the game. 193, I'd like him to beef up a little bit, experience playing wide receiver at the D3 level, but as people will kind of notice a theme to my draft, I'm not as concerned about actual football experience, and I'm just trying to get athletes on the team and trust that it'll work itself out.
I like that pick.
Okay. Now I have to do another one here. And I think I am. Someone said they were surprised that he's still here. I am going to take Sean McVay. Am I concerned about the size? Absolutely.
Pete, this is not a good pick.
It is. It is a good pick because Davis.
That's half of one Andy Reid. You're trying to use McVay as an edge rusher, brother. It's not going to work.
Using him as an edge rusher. Half your team has diabetes, dude. Like, I'm getting actual athletes, people who take care of themselves. Sean McVay has a legit barrel chest. He can get that low pad level. I'll take Sean McVay in an Oklahoma drill versus your Andy Reid any day of the week.
Okay, well, you'll lose. McVay is bouncing off of Andy Reid like he's an inflatable toy, straight to the ground, dude.
Andy Reid is closer to being in a motorized scooter at the mall than playing a football. All right, back to you. Let's see.
To Davis.
All right, so I think this guy, I'm gonna do. This is like sort of a little bit of classic money balling. I'm gonna take the Seahawks former Ravens Mike McDonald, who obviously does not have the high level experience. I think he got injured, isn't that right? When he was playing in high school, but he is the second youngest head coach. Look at those arms, brother.
Dude,
look at those arms.
Pick, actually.
He's got a little size too.
He kind of looks like a fullback. He kind of looks like he could go suit up in Patrick Ricard's uniform right now.
Yeah.
I will say, Davis, I think you've had some faulty logic on Andy Reid, but you will be back with that. I was not familiar with Mike McDonald's game. This is a good pick.
Now, this guy last played football in high school, and I don't think played in his senior season due to injury. So he might just be a little bit of a workout warrior here.
But I think for this game, I'm not expecting high-level technical football. I'm kind of expecting this game to play like a 3A high school game. Like, basically, it's going to be
my read. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I'm saying you line them up and you try and knock them down. We're trying to go 3 yards in a cloud of dust here. I might play McDonald at running back.
Do you feel like you have enough oxygen on the sideline for Andy Reid to get him through this game, Davis?
Let me tell you, dude, we are doing the Aaron Rodgers offense. We're taking it down to 39.99 every time. Clock's on double zeros.
Andy Reid has to finish up the offensive drive and then go play defense.
Let me tell you, every time, every 3 plays, I'm going to tell Andy Reid, you go find Pete Carroll wherever he's lining up on defense, and you guys just have a chat. We'll play 10 on 10 if we have to.
Great third round pick.
Andy Reid, Tush Push. Davis is running the Tush Push with Andy Reid every play.
I'm saying, brother.
Okay. Is it back to
I think it's to me. I think it's to me. All right. I'm gonna go with Mike Tomlin.
Okay.
He was the trickiest one to value to me.
Yeah. That is
former wide receiver at William and Mary. Couldn't find a weight on him. Maybe ask the computers if he's 195.
I bet
Andy
if
Reid.
I had to bet, I bet he weighs a cold 227 right now.
He's 5'8", so he's a little undersized, but he's got some dog in him. I think I could probably play him at center if he's over 200. What do the bots say?
I'm telling you guys, I've experienced this recently. You just cannot Google stuff anymore because you are getting such a degree of nonsense AI generated slop that you will. It's just not even close to something real.
You mean it says there's a football recruiting profile from NCSA that lists Mike Tomlin with a height of 5'11", 165, though it's important to verify if this is the correct Mike Tomlin.
I don't know. Like they will have to figure it out, but it's just unworkable.
Yeah, he is a tough one. I feel like it's kind of in the mold of what I was doing with the Raheem Morris pick, where you're taking on a little age, but you're trusting the athleticism, the work ethic, the knowledge it's going to take.
Yeah, and the attitude. I think there's going to be some coaches, at the pictures taken, they're going to be chatting, oh, yeah, we got this football game. This is kind of silly. It came from a ship chasing episode, and I don't know how serious I'm going to take it. And then Mike Tomlin, he's going to take this seriously. He's going to be putting his shoulder pads into somebody. So I'm happy to have him on the squad. I'll take with my second pick. I'll take Jonathan Gannon, the loser I thought that Davis was going to take.
Didn't even play, did he?
Yeah, no, he played wide receiver and defensive back at Louisville.
I don't just show. Yeah, Pete, pull up a picture of what Jonathan Gannon looks like to the crowd, please.
He's in shape.
Dude looks
honestly,
like,
dude, this is the Ben Johnson pick all over again. So you can't take Ben Johnson and be upset at this.
All right. Guy looks like fucking Tim Robinson from I Think You Should Leave. All right.
That's not even a good comp.
It is a good comp.
No,
he's in shape.
Pat,
and he's only 40.
This guy looks at all like Tim Robinson.
No. I mean, he looks kind of like a goober, but I've got
I honestly
Liam
think
Cohen here. So
I'm probably just remembering his very awkward Arizona Cardinals.
Oh yeah, he's awkward as hell.
Yeah,
but he's not going to be.
No, you know what? I actually got to give it to you. Good arms, small chest. Bet he can't bench 225.
You know who he looks like? He looks like Jeremy Strong from Succession.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, I don't mind that one. I think it's in the same vein of just trying to get some of these guys who are still young and have a little bit of size.
And a little bit of playing experience as well for him.
All right, so we still have the cohort of the 60 and 70-year-olds that have not been drafted, other than Andy Reid. We have 50-year-olds sliding through the cracks, and then we're really getting into the you're either old or really undersized is kind of what we're up against at this point.
I'm gonna go. It's my turn, right?
Yeah.
I think. Did you just do two, Pat?
I just did two. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I am gonna go. This is gonna be another controversial pick. But I'm going for the other fat coach. If I got to take an old guy anyway, I'm gonna take Brian Daboll.
Now he did lose a bunch of weight, Davis.
He might be on Ozempic, but there's only so much that you could do here. I will have the only two coaches who either are or have weighed 300 pounds.
Yeah, Dable looks like he's got some tenacity.
For sure.
For sure. Is this it? Did he play at Notre Dame, or are they just like comping him to Rudy here?
I think
small college is what I wrote down. He played safety. So it was probably a long time ago. He was 5'10". He's 5'10".
Are you telling me I won't just be able to run for 6 yards a carry against Mike McDaniel on Peter's defense when I have Brian Daboll and Andy Reid? They're just gonna fall forward. I'm gonna get 4 yards to play on quarterback sneaks.
Dude, these guys are gonna be gassed after half of a play. Like
that's fine.
You did. I mean, this is
my game plan going in. I've gotten all my targets thus far.
You did tell us before that NFL coach fantasy drafts are won in the trenches, right?
All football is won in the trenches, brother.
Okay. It's back to me for a double tap here, and it's honestly starting to get real thin. So
this is where I had the tears. This is where I had the cliff.
Big tear
when I was doing the mocks. Yeah, this is where the cliff would hit.
It's just like I really have to decide. Do I care about size or do I care about age? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of the last youngish guys that has a little bit of size to him. I'm going to take Kyle Shanahan. I think he fits in this mold of these guys who can be a little athletic out there. I think Kyle Shanahan keeps in good shape, like a Canales, like a LaFleur here. Is he going to get absolutely pancaked accidentally by Andy Reid? Sure. But I think he's going to be able to pass the concussion protocol quickly and get back out there. And after that, I'm just gonna keep leaving the olds and the fats to Davis because he's just gobbling them all up.
He can't get enough.
The fats are so undervalued. You guys are insane. Wait, I just zoned out for a second. You took Kyle Shanahan?
Yes. What were
Kyle
you
Shanahan
about?
Kyle Shanahan was after Pete Carroll on my board. Kyle Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, last guy you wanted, this zero dog, most annoying guy in the locker room, biggest loser.
No. Biggest Loser is the show that half of your players are going to have to go on to lose weight.
Brian Daboll's the winning contestant.
I went into this exercise knowing two things. I was going to be overweight Andy Reid, and I was not taking Kyle Shanahan.
You keep just backing into the most unfortunate puns. The Biggest Loser, overweight Andy Reid. I mean, Davis, you're doing this to yourself.
Come on, man.
Davis's team will not be
Is Brian Callahan the most nondescript NFL? Like when he gets fired this year, are we even going to remember who he was?
It's him and Mike McDonald are both just like NPCs in the NFL. All right, back to you, Davis.
All right,
it's
pretty
you need
tough.
To start worrying about your food and beverage budget too for keeping this team fed.
All right, so I'm gonna take another guy who is at the very least a dog. He is old, but I'm going to take Dan Quinn because I believe that Dan Quinn is of the ankle biting variety. I don't think you're going to want to be lined up across from
That's
Dan
a pretty
Quinn.
good one.
That is a good one.
He definitely should have gone ahead of Dayball.
Should have gone ahead of Kyle Shanahan. That's for sure.
8.3%.
Not even I would take 8.3% Kyle Shanahan. Just imagine you're getting your ass beat and you go back into the locker room and Shanahan is just explaining to you that you're wearing the wrong type of shorts, so he's not calling plays for you anymore.
Man, and you get bonus. I forgot about Dan Quinn rocking the backwards hat. That takes at least like 4 years.
Look at that neck. Look at that neck, dude.
It is.
Yeah.
That's a good pick. That was.
Davis' team has an identity. You got to give him that.
I'm going to be in the trenches. You guys, Mike McDaniel and Kyle Shanahan are going to end up on Peter's team, and they're going to be designing like reverse screens and wide receiver passes. And Andy Reid's going to be like Indiana Jones pulling the gun out, watching the guy with the sword, and he's just going to sit on Kyle Shanahan.
I mean, Davis' team has an identity. That identity is high cholesterol, but it has an identity. All right, it's back to Pat.
All right, I'll go ahead and take Kevin Stefanski.
Okay.
43 years old.
I didn't know what to make of him.
5'11", 185, so a little undersized, but he played defensive back at Penn. So, he's probably decently athletic still.
Is this Ted Cruz
he looks reasonably in shape.
NFL head coach? Let's see here. Yeah, actually, he looks decently fit here. All right. I see the vision.
And then I will take Todd Bowles, who's a little older. He's 61, but in pretty solid shape. And he gives me at least a little height, 6'2", listed at 203. That's probably from his playing days. I think we get a little bit more size than that, a little bit more mass.
61. Wow.
But you're getting a pretty big discount. He played 8 seasons as a safety in the NFL. So you're getting a pretty big discount on that with the age, which you should, but I think worth taking at this point.
Yeah, this 2015 photo, but that was a decade ago.
It's 2015.
He's got a bit of a gut now, but I think I'm playing him on the line.
All right. I see it. Davis back. Let's see. This is who's available. Who hasn't been selected? Brian Schottenheimer, Mike McDaniel, Sean McDermott, John Harbaugh, Sean Payton, Pete Carroll, Jim Harbaugh, and then don't forget Roger Goodell is in the player pool.
Man, the Harbaughs. If we could did this exercise 13 years ago, they're smashed.
Oh, that would have been great picks.
They're just too old now. So I'm of two minds here. It's either McDermott or Schottenheimer, and I'm just gonna go Schottenheimer because he went to the University of Kansas. It's really my only logic.
Yeah,
he's younger looking than you'd think, but
yeah, he's not that old.
He looks tall. How tall is he?
What did I put in?
I might be able to play him at safety.
6'1", 196. Yeah, you could get away with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that you were debating between him and McDermott, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna
I didn't know what McDermott played. I knew Schottenheimer was a quarterback.
Safety at William and Mary, both Tomlin and Sean McDermott. But yeah, age 51, we don't have any medicals on him, which is why he slipped in the draft. I think had we known, if he would have participated in the weigh-in at the coach's combine. Yeah, I think he's got some pluck to him. I think he kind of has like a fiery personality. I can see him getting up for this game in decent shape. You know, doesn't look like he's been having too many late night pints at Ben and Jerry's like some of the guys Davis has been picking. Let's go there. And then, man, this is really hard. I mean, Mike McDaniel, like this 180 here is like so generous on his weight. Like Mike McDaniel has to be about 165 soaking wet.
Yeah.
There are, like Davis said, the Harbaughs at 61, they just seem like they're going to take one hit and just get snapped in half.
I forget which one is which. John is in better shape. Jim had a heart thing. Correct? I'm not making this up.
No, I do remember that, Davis. I think that was in the news even recently. Yeah. I think I need a little bit more size here. Harbaugh, 6'1", 220. Jim Harbaugh is the taller one, but a little skinnier.
You want John. John is clearly the pick. Yeah.
I'm going to go John. So this is who's left. Mike McDaniel, Sean Payton, Pete Carroll, Jim Harbaugh, and Roger Goodell.
Tough.
Is that it? Oh, so Davis picked... No, we have Sean McDermott left, right?
No, I just took him.
You took
Oh, my bad. Okay.
So it's back to Davis in the middle. Then Pat, you'll have 2 picks. Oh, so I'm getting stuck with the last pick, it looks like. Does that make sense? Because didn't I go first?
No, shouldn't I get the last pick? Or is it kind of like uneven rounds?
Oh yeah, we might need to actually.
Who had Schottenheimer there?
Me.
Davis.
Okay. We can sort here in a second.
Is it my
all right?
pick?
Yeah, it's your pick.
Okay, so he is teensy, but Mike McDaniel did play wide receiver at Yale. I mean,
I was going to take him.
He's got football experience. I think I'm kind of balancing out my lack of athleticism up front with a little bit more. Like, he does vape a lot, so I don't know how that plays in. McDaniel, big vapor. But yeah, I'm going to go Mike McDaniel.
So I have 10 players so far. Davis has 10. And Pat, you should be at 9. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to take 2.
Yeah.
And then you guys will each take 1. Okay. And which Harbaugh did you take?
I took John.
All right, I'll take Jim.
Yep.
He's 215, 6'3". So he's a nice tackle prospect this late. He is 61, but, putting him on the offensive line. Probably defensive line too. So that's all right. And then let's see. Oh, it gets ugly, doesn't it, boys?
It's Sean
All right.
Payton, Pete Carroll, or Roger Goodell.
I'm gonna take Goodell and make him play guard. Maybe center. Maybe even center.
Wow. Are you is Pete Davis? Didn't you say at the top of the show that Pete Carroll wasn't the last pick? When push comes to shove, though.
Yeah. Tough.
It's on you, Davis.
I mean, sure. Yeah, I'll take. I'm gonna have a Kurt Warner style resurgence here for Sean Payton. I guess how hard are these guys really going to be getting after it on the defense? Like I could stick Sean Payton there at quarterback, and then I'll give Pete Carroll to you.
As a kind of a money ball, like you can get quarterback. There's so many. You just take one last. If you're playing him at quarterback, I think it's actually a pretty solid pick. You
just can't hide him on defense.
I can't hide him on defense, and I already had Kellen Moore, who's kind of like the young version of this, so he didn't really make sense for my team. But I like that. If you're playing him at quarterback, I think it's a pretty strong pick this late.
Yeah.
You start to notice some trends here.
Pete's got
by age.
Pete has one guy younger than 40 on his team.
What? How did that happen? I've been targeting the young guys the whole time.
Nico Ryan's 101.
Davis, you have two, and there was only a handful of guys under 40. My team is younger in the aggregate than both of yours.
I do just want to. I want to nominate worst pick. It was absolutely Corain taking Kellen Moore. 100.
I don't know. I don't regret it. He's 36.
Sean Payton and Kellen Moore are basically effectively the same in this exercise.
He's 36. Sean Payton.
What is Kellen Moore? Kellen Moore could not tackle Aaron Glenn. Just straight up couldn't do it.
I'm gonna hide the shit out of Kellen Moore. I'm gonna have him playing like free safety.
I just very clear. The people who are saying the Andy Reid pick is bad, you guys have never played ball. You've never played ball. You just do not know.
Hey God, let's ballpark guess some of these weights and then sort and see who has the fattest team.
Okay.
Goodell, we're going up to 300 for Andy.
We're going to 300.
What's Goodell? Like 260?
I was gonna say 240.
Yeah.
Split the difference, 250.
He's always wearing the suits. Hard to tell.
Dan Quinn's got to be what, 220?
220.
Mike Tomlin, 20. What is he? 210?
210. Yeah, 210.
Sean McDermott, similar to Tomlin, I'd imagine.
Yeah, 205, 210-ish.
Brian Daboll, who did lose a lot of weight recently, but still looks like he weighs like a good 250.
I was gonna say 260.
255. Pat, you want to get in here? Davis and I are like so overconfident on how much all these guys weigh just like immediately.
No, I'm loving it.
Raheem Morris, English, I think he's like a 205.
Chat saying 300 too low for Andy Reid. So
I think Morris is probably a little lighter than that because he's not that tall, right?
No, he's.
Well, we don't. We also don't have height on him.
Yeah, I think he's.
Got to go 190.
Doesn't look that. Yeah, I would say he's probably like 190.
Jonathan Gannon at 180 in college. So we'll give
probably say like 190, 200 even.
Look at Davis's team when you sort by weight.
I had a plan. I executed the plan.
He's got 3 in the top 4 and 5 in the top 8.
I am going to win the battle in the trenches. Is my team going to be gassed in the second half?
Yes.
Absolutely.
The second half, you'll be lucky to get to the second half.
I had a plan. Anyone who's played any ball at any level knows there is no substitute for size. I have the biggest team. And I have the youngs to counterbalance it.
Yes. Let's see. So then now, Pat, how is this next part looking?
We need to figure out how we're gonna play everybody. So I think we could probably do we could go through and have everyone do their offense and then their defense. Might be one way to do it. But we need to.
Yeah, you have to allocate the positions for your teams.
Yeah, and you can play however. This is your base formation.
This is your base personnel.
That's right. So you don't have to however you want to play, it's up to you.
Do you guys want to? Let's see. Do you have this document? Do you want to each of us do this simultaneously, or do we want to?
I was going to say put the link in the chat so that I can sort it.
And producer Nick is going to get us some more data on average weights and ages for the team here in a sheet. So thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
All right.
Okay.
Anyone want to talk their?
Well, I was just trying to think about the best way to do this. Pete, should we create a column left of this with the positions, right tackle, left tackle, yada yada, so on and so forth, or do you just put? All right, I'll start. So I am gonna take. Andy Reid is going to be my center. Dan Campbell is going to be my left guard. Dable is going to be my right guard, and I'm just going to run the ball.
You don't have
you guys.
You mean Dable? You're one below.
Yeah. Hot take. I'm actually going to play. I think I'm going to play Dan Quinn as my right tackle.
Interesting.
A little bit bigger, and then I'm going to play the more athletic and the younger Zach Taylor is my left tackle. I'm going to play Sean Payton at quarterback. I'm going to do Ben Johnson.
Oh, did I get? Sorry, I was trying to sort just so we could see yours here. What happened?
Fine.
Okay.
I lost myself. I lost my train of thought. Ben Johnson is going to be my running back. Has to be youngest guy, 195. KOC is my quarterback, but I'm gonna do KOC is gonna be my tight end, but I'm gonna run like a wildcat style situation.
What did you say Dan Campbell or Dan Quinn was?
You're gonna want a wildcat with Sean
right
Payton?
tackle. Well, you know how like Brady Quinn would go stand off on the side and just not do anything?
Yes. When Tom Brady would line up at wide receiver.
Exactly. Ben Johnson is my running back. KOC is my tight end. Not OKC. KOC is my tight end. Go Thunder, dude. I said Dan Quinn is my right tackle. My left tackle is Zach Taylor. My slot wide receiver is obviously McDaniel. And my primary wide receiver is going to be my youngest guy, Mike McDonald. And then my sacrificial X is going to be Shoddy.
Sacrificial X.
Honestly, dude, you guys are not lining it up and beating me. There's just no chance.
I am.
Okay.
So I'm gonna run kind of the so basically Sean Payton is gonna be Gardner Minshew here, but there's gonna be a little bit of a rotational element with him and KOC.
Is my sorting's not working for keeping these spots? Is it? I was trying to get us on.
Well, you might not have. No, it should be. It should work.
Okay. All right, Pat. Do you want to fill in yours here?
You don't have to write the name in there because it'll just be associated with that same player.
Yeah.
Like on the okay. All right. Yeah. Hang on. Let me get into this sheet. I'm in the wrong one. All right. So I will. Let's see. I'm gonna say. First of all, let's fill out the offensive line. So I'm gonna play Liam Cohen at center.
Oh, I already win. I literally already win.
He's 223, okay, and he's 39.
Pushing over Andy Reid.
He's got some. He honestly might shove Andy Reid to the ground easily. I don't want to be mean about it, but so he's gonna be center. Then I think I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play my Harbaugh at tackle, and Todd Bowles will be my other tackle. So get these guys. Maybe don't have the most mobility, but they have a little bit of size. So this is Harbaugh. Where's Bowles? There's Bowles. All right. Then I'm gonna fill out guard with Roger Goodell. It's got a little bit of heft, and I'll use. The other guard is a little trickier. I'll probably use Matt LaFleur, who's 210, and I think has enough size to hang. He might ultimately switch with Cohen. We have to test those guys out. Actually, I'll put LaFleur at center to start, and I'll move Cohen to guard.
Okay.
And then my other guard was who did I say? Goodell. All right. Now, Kellen Moore obviously will play quarterback because you can't really do anything else with him.
So really the Sean Payton equivalent.
The Sean Payton equivalent, who I drafted a little early, but I think
A little early.
he'll be a little less concerning on defense. A little more
Marquez Callaway in the 8th round pick.
And then we're gonna play at wide receiver. I will have Aaron Glenn and Kevin Stefanski, both former defensive backs. Feel like they can play receiver there for me. I'm gonna have Jonathan Gannon at tight end. Maybe get a little bit of explosives.
Jonathan Gannon at tight end is hilarious.
Maybe get some explosives there.
My team is even better now watching Pat lay his team out.
Now here's the move. Mike Tomlin, fullback Mike Tomlin. He's gonna stick his nose in there.
You're playing 21.
Yeah, you're not going 3 wide receiver set.
I'm not going 3 wide receivers because the whole point of this team is for D'Amico Ryans to get like 45 carries a game. He's the running back. This is why this team comes together. He's 247 pounds. He's actually fast. He's going to run away from every single person on Davis's team on every carry.
Graders? You think
your road graders are going to be stuck in mud. I'm going to have D'Amico Ryans doing pitches.
Let me tell you, dude, Brian Dable and
edge.
Andy Reid are just going to push Liam Cohen over. Just hands on shoulders like a little kid. Just knock him over.
I am going to score. This is Derrick Henry. I have Derrick Henry. I have an actual NFL player here, D'Amico Ryans, who's going to be
your offensive line. You know, if the game is built in the trenches, it's not a good look. You do probably have the best quarterback, though.
It is funny how all of Pat's experience is quarterbacks and defensive players. So it is.
Roger Goodell pick was atrocious. Hey man, I gotta fill out the offensive line.
What did you want him to do?
All right. I think I gotta put Vrabel at center. Somebody's gotta put Andy Reid where he deserves here. We're gonna put we gotta put Harbaugh at one of the tackles. God, how do we hide Pete Carroll, dude? How do we hide?
You got Harbaugh and Pete Carroll, dude.
Dude, we're hiding Carroll at guard.
Against Dable, Dable, bro.
Carroll at guard, you're doomed.
Where else?
Carroll is so old.
Allow
Carroll at guard.
Let me put him at place kicker. Let me put him at place kicker. Oh my God. Okay. I think what we need to do here. No, we're not putting Pete Carroll at guard. We're gonna put we'll put Sean McDermott at guard here. We'll put Canales at one of the guards, and we'll go ahead and I think we got to have Steichen at QB. We got to take advantage of that size, that experience. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Raheem Morris at the other tackle.
Oh no, I think he might be like 5'9", dude.
Did you put your first pick is a tackle?
I don't need the. We already established it's not like we're drafting the best quarterback overall. That's the most important thing for this. You're drafting athleticism here. I need to get these little guys. I'm putting Sean McVay at running back.
Not his natural position of wide receiver.
What's that?
Not his natural position of wide receiver.
No, I'm just drafting athletes, dude.
He converted late in his career.
Sirianni, we're going to put at tight end with his experience there as a wide receiver. Where are we going to put Pete Carroll? I mean, you just gotta put him at wide receiver and just never throw to him. Sacrificial X.
Yeah, sacrificial X.
Okay. And then So what position? I have one more wide receiver spot left that we're going to give to Shanahan for sure. And then what position do I have remaining?
Fullback, tight end, or wide receiver.
Center, guard, tackle. So I can play Callahan at third wide receiver. Done. Beautiful.
We call this one Pete learns about 11 personnel.
Dude, the Pete Carroll is just really
rough
makes
one,
things
man.
tough.
Pete's team is not throwing the ball and also losing a run blocker with Pete Carroll at 73 years old.
73-year-old Pete Carroll is just the ultimate item out there. I just need him to be Chris Hogan, just getting some cardio there on the outside.
He does love the cardio. He's going to be enthusiastic. Pete Carroll's going to be enthusiastic.
Yes. Okay. Do you want to do defense quickly?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
All right. Let's see this, Davis.
All right. Andy Reid is my nose tackle. I'm only playing 3 down linemen. So I'm going to have.
I think we all are.
I'm going to have. You know what? Actually, I'm going to put him as my deep safety. I'm going to play 3 safeties. So Sean Payton is going to be my deep safety. I'm going to do Mike McDaniel at corner. I'm going to do Ben Johnson at edge. I'm going to do Dan Quinn at edge. I'm going to have Mike McDonald as my Mike linebacker.
Oh my God.
Kevin O'Connell.
Mike McDonald playing Mike? Oh, no.
Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna play 4-2-5, and then so I've got another off-ball linebacker. But he's kind of Micah Parsons, right? So he can play.
Davis's team is so fat that he can afford to play Dan Campbell
Davis's
at
team looks
off-ball
kind of
linebacker. He's 6'5", 265, and Davis doesn't
Suddenly
have
the
room on the
ability to
line.
run.
I'm gonna go.
The ability to run matters, and all of a sudden the team doesn't look so good.
We're going to do Shoddy as my box safety. And we're going to do McDaniel at... Actually, you know what? I'm going to change this. I'm going to go to... I'm going to play 5-2-4, right? And then safety. So I'm going to go 3 safeties, 2 corners, 2 linebackers, 4 down linemen.
Okay. Pat, you ready to assign defense?
Yeah. All right, so I will go. Let's see. All right, Goodell. He's just gonna have to he's playing in the trenches. Yeah. He's
I can't believe you guys both just gave up on the trenches. We had the exact opposite idea.
What are you talking about? Goodell's 250. This is me not giving up on the trench. This is me getting
moneyball trenches.
Yeah, I moneyballed the trenches.
Moneyballed it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Goodell's a great trench player.
We don't need to worry about the trenches. You're only
coaches.
putting 3 guys in your defensive trenches. I might slide Pete Carroll in.
I changed. I'm running a 4-2-5 with a deep safety, a box safety, and a hybrid safety, who can be like the nickel corner if need be.
The trenches are the strength of my team. I mean, at least on defense. D'Amico Ryans is edge. He's an edge for me.
Honestly, good, unironic, good pick.
Yeah, I mean, he's a superstar on both sides. The only reason I'm passing is honestly just to keep him fresh on defense. Then I will do where's Jim Harbaugh? He believes in building through the trenches, so let's put him at defensive tackle. He's 215, can handle that a little bit. And then my other edge,
famously healthy heart at nose tackle.
Well, that wouldn't be the first. I've got Liam Cohen playing edge, 39, 6'1", 223. I think he can handle that assignment. Let's see. I've got Mike Tomlin, clearly a linebacker. He'll run around, make some plays. Todd Bowles used to play safety. He's going to play linebacker for me. Need his athleticism there to tackle Davis's nonstop running of the ball. I'm going to play Matt LaFleur at strong safety, but he's going to be in the box a lot.
Is that the most wild 2-way line, center and strong safety?
It's so good. Kellen Moore, obviously, Not someone you're super psyched about, but I'm going to play him at linebacker. He's going to be like my speedy, like weak side linebacker. Going to have him running
He's
around a lot.
not speedy.
Well, he's 36, so he's speedier than Andy Reid.
Speedier relatively.
Give him that.
Sure.
Yeah, he's speedier. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He's not super fleet of foot, but he is 36 years old. Kevin Stefanski was a former defensive back, so he's a nice cornerback. Aaron Glenn, obviously, we can use that, but I'm going to put Glenn at safety. I'm going to use some of that intelligence that he's got as the former NFL player. And then Jonathan Gannon will be my other cornerback. He has defensive back experience at Louisville.
So you're running nickel as your base personnel?
No, it should be like a 4-3. Right? Don't I have Tomlin, Bowles, and Kellen Moore at linebacker.
Okay.
2 defensive tackles,
4-3.
2 edges. Yeah. But
All
the
right.
4 is going to be in the box a lot because you guys are going to be running nonstop.
Kellen Moore.
That is the plan. I might not have to throw the ball.
I mean, you better hope you don't. You don't got the horses to do it.
Mike Daniel, brother.
All right, let's see here. We're gonna have Vrabel at
Can we just
tackle.
pull this up real quick? Dallas arbitrage Indy Reid.
Pete didn't believe in this show as a concept. This is our biggest banger of the summer. This is a banger.
There will be some hardos who are very disappointed we didn't draft our 98th best all-Canadian team.
Jaden Fry knows that I had this in the bag.
Okay, yeah. So I have to put Pete Carroll. Is deep safety the sacrificial X on the other side? Harbaugh.
Depends on your team. I mean, some teams run number one.
Pete, when you say deep safety, how deep?
How deep?
Is Pete Carroll gonna be for you?
Deep
safety.
Shane McDermott has linebacker written all over him, as does do I want to put Steichen?
I think he wants Steichen's hand in the ground.
Steichen, I think, probably I could probably have him as an edge. I think Steichen with that height there. Raheem Morris, do I take advantage of him actually playing safety? But to me, he now strikes me as a little bit more of a linebacker.
I think I'd go linebacker, yeah.
Yeah, with the size of this team. And then we're gonna play McVay at corner for sure. Shanahan at corner. We'll put Brian Callahan back there as another safety. And then I think that just leaves Sirianni as another one of my linebackers for a little 4-3.
So I'm the only one that got creative on defense. Interesting.
Well, I added a bunch of E's to deep safety. How much more creative do you want me to get?
Davis, Pete is playing with 10 defenders. Is that creative enough for you?
No, Pete Carroll is his Jabril Peppers. Remember the year, what's his name? The idiot Browns coach put Jabril Peppers like 37 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
I don't. Sorry.
I don't.
Tough scene.
I also don't. All right, Pat, this was a wonderful idea. And I should mention to people, we're gonna be ending this episode here very shortly because we have to go record a mini-sode. We're literally on the clock with our first pick in the FFPC main event draft. We got registered for that. And for those of you guys who are YouTube members, we'll be trickling out special members only shows as we're on the clock throughout this draft. We recorded one last week, kind of just talking general thoughts about the ADP and stuff we might want to do in the draft. And now we need to go hammer out our decision at 103. But before we do that, Davis, Pat, anything you guys want to mention?
Can we get a poll in the chat here for who won?
Oh
this
yeah,
one?
let's get while you guys do your plugs. I'll get a poll in the chat, and you guys can tell us who won here. Let me get over to ship chasing. Davis, what do you got going on this week?
Members only stream tomorrow, Takecast episode. If you guys really know ball, I just did a Takecast with Cody Alexander, who runs Match Quarters, which is a Substack that is just about defense. And I learned a lot. It's a good take. Yeah, fun stuff. Why am I looking at a video of a playground?
Why was that?
Because Google Ads knows that I have a and I'm trying to get in here to what about you, Pat?
Google Ads.
Matt Irby had a good article this morning up on some undervalued running backs looking at Yak, which I thought was an interesting lens to look at some of these guys. It helps that guys like Breece Hall, Devon Achane, some exciting players were popping in that as potential undervalued guys right now. And yeah, I recommend checking out if you're a Sidekick subscriber, jump in the Discord, hop in the beta right now, test out the Sims. And we'll have more on when we're launching the production version of that very soon.
Beautiful. 0 votes for me? That's bullshit. 60% Pat, 40% Davis Fatty, 0% Pete. What in the world? Did you guys see the amount of athletes that I packed on my team?
When this poll ends, it's going to be like a runaway. It's going to be like 80, 10, 3. That math doesn't work out. No one's voting for Pete.
I will say, Davis, you won. The chat hated your team for most of the show, and now is voting for it. So congratulations.
Because the silent majority, as Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan always knew, the silent majority, they're not extremists. They want us to put our hands in the dirt and run the ball. It's
I want to run the ball too.
Team.
I've got the best running back by a mile and a good enough offensive line to protect for him. You can't catch D'Amico Ryans.
I got honestly, Mike McDonald better running back than
Mike McDonald is a better running back than D'Amico Ryans. You believe that?
D'Amico Ryans is how old did we determine he was? 45, 46?
40.
All right, if you're at the polls, stay in line. If you're at the polls,
D'Amico Ryans is Myles Garrett and Derrick Henry as a great commenter.
Not a single vote. Not a single vote.
Pat,
what?
I think we should have helped Peter more.
I understand Pete Carroll sucks, but a single vote. All right, we are ending. We're ending.
Let's just rejoice in that we have gotten every single vote between us two.
The show's over.